The night felt less like a routine title defense and more like a test of survival. Inside a Moscow arena, under the bright lights and with 3 world titles hanging in the balance, one man walked to the ring carrying a reputation that had become almost mythical in boxing. Artur Beterbiev wasn't simply known as a champion. He was known as the fighter who ended every professional fight he had ever won by knockout. 15 fights, 15 victories, 15 knockouts. No exceptions. Across the ring stood Germany's Adam Deines, an undefeated challenger who had earned his opportunity through grit, discipline, and determination. He arrived with confidence, carrying a respectable professional record and the belief that he possessed the tools to do what nobody else had managed, survive Beterbiev's relentless assault and perhaps even shock the boxing world. But there was a reason the atmosphere changed whenever Beterbiev entered an arena. As cameras zoomed in during the introductions, commentators couldn't stop talking about his appearance. At 175 pounds, he looked carved from stone. His shoulders seemed wider than they should be. His neck looked like it had been built from concrete. Every muscle appeared functional, designed for one purpose only: destruction. The sight alone was intimidating. Before a single punch was thrown, opponents often looked as though they already understood the challenge awaiting them. For Deines, the strategy was obvious. Avoid exchanges. Stay mobile. Make Beterbiev miss. Force the champion into uncomfortable positions. Most importantly, do not get caught early. That plan lasted less than a round. From the opening bell, Beterbiev stalked forward with that familiar pressure. There was no rushing, no reckless aggression. Instead, he advanced methodically, cutting off space inch by inch. Every jab carried authority. Every step forced Deines closer to danger. The challenger tried to establish movement and angles. He circled away from the power hand and attempted to keep the fight at long range. For brief moments it worked. But Beterbiev possesses a unique quality that separates him from most punchers. He doesn't need perfect contact. Late in the first round, a right hand crashed through Deines' defenses. It wasn't even the cleanest punch of the fight. Yet the effect was immediate. The challenger felt the force instantly. The knockdown arrived almost suddenly, a reminder that against Beterbiev, even minor mistakes can have major consequences. The crowd erupted. Deines climbed back to his feet, but something had changed. That is the hidden battle every Beterbiev opponent faces. The physical damage is only part of the problem. The psychological damage begins the moment you experience his power firsthand. Once you know what those punches feel like, every future exchange becomes a difficult decision. Do you stand your ground? Do you risk trading? Do you dare throw combinations knowing something devastating might come back in return? For Deines, those questions would linger throughout the remainder of the contest. The second round revealed the challenge perfectly. Beterbiev landed relatively few punches compared to his output later in the fight, but every shot felt significant. His jab alone looked capable of changing momentum. Commentators repeatedly pointed out the velocity behind his punches. The sound echoed through the arena with disturbing clarity. Deines attempted to answer back. He landed counters. He found occasional success with combinations. Yet every achievement came at a cost. Whenever he remained in range for even a second too long, Beterbiev responded with crushing power. Many fighters make the mistake of becoming greedy against Beterbiev. Because he moves forward constantly, opponents often believe opportunities are available. They throw one punch and see another opening. Then another. Then another. That's when disaster strikes. Beterbiev welcomes exchanges because he trusts his power more than anyone else's. If punches are being traded, history suggests he will be the last man standing. Deines understood this danger and tried to remain disciplined. He circled along the ropes, slipped shots, and attempted to counter from angles. Occasionally he succeeded. A sharp hook here, a clean left hand there, enough to remind everyone he belonged on the world stage. Yet Beterbiev kept closing the distance. Every round felt similar in one crucial respect: the champion's pressure never stopped. What makes Beterbiev so dangerous is not simply his strength. Many fighters hit hard. Many fighters are physically imposing. Few combine those attributes with his patience and intelligence. As the middle rounds unfolded, observers began highlighting an often overlooked aspect of his game. He wasn't charging recklessly forward. He was constructing attacks. A probing jab measured distance. A subtle feint forced reactions. A body shot lowered the guard. Then came the real target. The process repeated itself over and over. Beterbiev rarely wasted punches. Every movement served a purpose. Every attack pushed Deines toward exhaustion. By the fourth round, the challenger was still fighting bravely, but signs of wear had become increasingly visible. His legs no longer looked quite as fresh. His reactions had slowed slightly. His guard rose a fraction later than before. Against most opponents, such changes might go unnoticed. Against Beterbiev, they are invitations. The champion doubled up hooks. He mixed attacks to the body and head. Uppercuts slipped through the guard. Heavy shots crashed against arms and gloves with enough force to hurt even when blocked. That's another terrifying element of Beterbiev's style. Defending successfully does not guarantee safety. Many of his punches remain damaging even when they strike arms, shoulders, or gloves. Opponents absorb punishment simply by standing in front of him. Deines continued showing courage. Whenever opportunities appeared, he fired back. Several sharp combinations found their mark. A right hook followed by a straight left generated applause. For brief moments he reminded everyone why he had earned a title shot. But courage alone cannot stop a force of nature. As round 5 began, discussion turned toward the future. Boxing fans were already imagining massive unification bouts. Potential clashes against other champions hovered in the background. Some even dreamed about a showdown involving pound-for-pound stars. Yet those conversations carried an important condition. Beterbiev first had to get through Adam Deines. The champion clearly understood that reality. Rather than chasing a spectacular early knockout, he remained patient. He appeared content collecting rounds and accumulating damage. Every minute that passed worked in his favor. Deines was being forced into a cruel dilemma. To win, he needed offense. To launch offense, he had to enter dangerous territory. The more risks he took, the more opportunities Beterbiev received. By the 6th round, the cumulative punishment had become impossible to ignore. Heavy blows had landed on both head and body. The challenger remained competitive and determined, but his energy reserves were steadily draining away. Commentators spoke about the psychological burden of facing a puncher like Beterbiev. Every second requires complete concentration. Every mistake could end the fight. Every exchange demands maximum effort. That pressure becomes exhausting long before the physical punishment finishes its work. Still, Deines refused to surrender. He landed uppercuts when Beterbiev rushed forward. He connected with body shots. He caught the champion with occasional counters that briefly energized his corner. There were moments where spectators could appreciate his resilience. Lesser fighters might have folded under the circumstances. Deines continued searching for answers. Unfortunately, Beterbiev had already solved the puzzle. Round after round, he adjusted subtly. When Deines targeted the head, Beterbiev answered downstairs. When Deines moved left, the champion cut off the angle. When the challenger attempted combinations, Beterbiev interrupted them with powerful counters. The fight increasingly resembled a slow-motion avalanche. Nothing dramatic occurred instantly. Yet the outcome felt inevitable. Entering the 7th round, statistics told a revealing story. Beterbiev had established a significant lead in landed punches. More importantly, a large percentage of those punches were power shots. Every successful attack chipped away at Deines' resistance. Every body shot stole energy. Every jab disrupted rhythm. Every hook pushed the challenger closer to collapse. Observers praised Beterbiev's conditioning and preparation. His muscular physique was impressive, but experts emphasized that these were not merely cosmetic muscles. They translated directly into performance. The power remained consistent from opening bell to final rounds. The pressure never faded. Many fighters become less dangerous as fights progress. Beterbiev often becomes more dangerous. That reality began revealing itself clearly during the championship rounds. Deines still found occasional success with his left hand. He still landed counters that earned respect. But the intervals between those successes grew longer and longer. Meanwhile, Beterbiev's confidence continued increasing. His punches carried the same force they possessed in round 1. His forward march never slowed. His patience remained intact. The champion seemed perfectly comfortable extending the fight because every passing minute favored him. When round 10 arrived, the writing was already visible on the wall. The punch statistics illustrated complete control. Beterbiev had landed more than twice as many punches as his challenger. Most importantly, the majority were damaging power shots. The accumulated punishment had finally reached critical levels. A heavy attack sent Deines down for the second official knockdown of the contest. The crowd sensed the finish. The challenger rose once again, displaying the bravery he had shown all night. But the damage was undeniable. Beterbiev immediately resumed his assault, sensing weakness. Then came the final sequence. A short, brutal left hand connected cleanly. Deines crumbled. His corner had seen enough. Before further punishment could be absorbed, officials stepped in and waved the fight over. The arena exploded as Artur Beterbiev celebrated another victory. The official result read 10th round technical knockout. The numbers were staggering. 16 professional fights, 16 victories, 16 knockouts. A perfect knockout ratio preserved once again. Yet the result only told part of the story. This wasn't merely a demonstration of raw power. It was a display of patience, ring intelligence, conditioning, and relentless pressure. Beterbiev never appeared desperate. He never chased the knockout recklessly. Instead, he systematically dismantled a determined challenger